Other on-page factors, optimize your URL. Google doesn't like, all of these little squigglies with the, you got the ampersands and your question marks and your equal signs and all of that. Google don't like that. Google can read them. Google's doing a whole lot better, and Yahoo and Bing both, or all three, are doing a whole lot better in reading those. However, Google is very fond of your typical small HTML tag, use breadcrumbs. Each one of these home, biking widgets, red biking widgets, are links on your page that Google looks at. Google looks and counts the number of links that you got on the page and tries to determine what you're talking about from those. So use the domain name. Why did I start a company called SERP Solutions? Everybody knows what a SERP is. Everybody that's involved in web marketing, involved in building webs, and sits down and type anything into a Google search comes up with a SERP, search engine result page. And the acronym is becoming more and more useful. If you can, you're a web designer. I heard somebody talking about the web guy came to him and said, or the company came to him and said they wanted him to build a site and didn't tell him anything. Don't know what they want yet, okay? If you can include their keywords in a domain name, if you can come up with words, how do they come up with skills? If you can come up with a word that you can use and market and turn that word into something, the Webster's Dictionary is adding words to it all the time. And as those words get used, where Twitter comes from, where Facebook comes from. Keyword, Google can understand keywords. You can separate the keywords using hyphens. Optimize your Java. Take your CSS off the page, put them on a separate page, and include them. I'm sure that all of your website designers know how to use includes. So you can include them. Google looks at the page, and if it sees all of that stuff, all it's doing is cluttering the picture. Google's interested in certain things. You have to spoon feed Google. There's two other things. There's the robots tag, and there's the robots text, and a sitemap. There is information in the handout that I gave that gives you good information from Google on using robots and sitemaps. I, again, am surprised at the number of sites that I look at that have no sitemap. Sitemap XML is something that you should submit to Google. When you build your site, you've done your keywords, you've got your site completely optimized the way you think it ought to be, then submit it to Google and submit them the sitemap XML. It tells them which pages to go in an index. Your robots.txt file tells them what pages you do not want them to index. And there are pages you don't want them to index. You've got a site that you have a sign-up page. Google doesn't need to index your sign-up page. Google doesn't need to index your contact page. There are pages that you don't want Google to index. You can use the robots tag and use a no index, no follow, or you can use a robots.txt. And the first thing that the search engine does when it goes in and looks for at the site, looks for the robots text and it looks for the sitemap. Provide it to them. If you don't, your competition's doing it. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get into those a whole lot. I've been talking for 40 minutes, and I know there's a bunch of folks that's got some questions.
Why don't you index the contact page?
You can. I was going to qualify that and say that your contact page could be a good page to index if you include some information on it that's worthwhile for the customer. If all it is a blank page with a form, it's not necessary to do that. It's the same thing with a sign-up page. You got a newsletter sign-up page. If you've got a newsletter sign-up page and you've got some information on it that you want them to read, then you can do that and include it. But there are pages that you may not want Google to index. And in so doing, one of the things that you may want to consider is that if you have a page with no follow links, you may not want Google to index that page. It doesn't do you any good, it doesn't do anybody else any good. Here is a search that I did for my site, and see where the title shows up and see where the description shows up on the search. And that's where the way they're going to show up. Google indexes that page, takes a picture of that page, puts it in its index, and when somebody goes in and types in Surf Atlanta and I come up, they see what I put into the page so that Google could pick it up, not what Google wanted to see.